been in Scotland at the ACE Aware Nation Conference and with the Carnegie Trust, and this is what I'll be taking home with me as reflections about how we can tackle adverse childhood experiences. The commitment across government is really impressive here. The Deputy First Minister speaking about how this cuts across all disciplines, ACEs is everybody's business, was amazing. And seeing the necessity of a trauma-informed public service workforce is something that we need in Wales. Secondly, Nadine Burke-Harris was amazing. You could listen to her all day, obviously. And the things she spoke about that struck me were screening and its usefulness in some contexts, but for us to reflect on who is screening for what and why. Absolutely made the case for this in primary care, and how once you know that, the lens at which you treat somebody in a medical context needs to be driven by that always. How in other contexts taking an ACEs score is not relevant or appropriate, but also she talked about screening for assets. So if somebody does have an ACEs score of 3 or 4 but actually is doing fine, then it's an opportunity for a conversation about, so what are you doing that's going well, and let's do more of that. She also spoke about something that worried me a little, in that a lot of the work that I've done in promoting awareness of adverse childhood experiences has been about where the symptoms of early life trauma are very obvious. So where people are acting in ways that are antisocial, so kids that are getting kicked out of classrooms, people who are using drugs, people who are antisocial in the community, and how we need to be more empathic towards the reasons behind some of those behaviours. But what she spoke about that really struck me is, in a way, they're the lucky ones, because we know about them. The kid in the classroom who needs the attention or is getting kicked out of the classroom, at least we know about ACEs, that something could be going on there, and we might ask those questions. But actually many people who have suffered trauma and adversity will not be symptomatic in that way, so would not necessarily act out and not deal with their stress in that way, and actually might develop health problems later in life. Or even in childhood, the health problem might not automatically appear as a symptom of ACEs if you don't know that actually it could stunt growth, for example. Just an example. So it really made me think about our children and the LAC population in Wales, so the looked after children, and how we have, and how they are the tip of an iceberg, because we know about them. There must be so many more children experiencing trauma, but who are quiet in the classroom, who don't show up on anybody's radar, but who are suffering. So that was big for me. The other thing that was about, a big theme from Scotland has been about the environment and its impact. So big up to housing and its push for psychologically informed environments, because the environment is massive, and its ability to influence the change. You know, this message about it's never too late to offer somebody a healing experience, and we all have a part to play in that, however small. But the environments which we live, which we create, which we interact, which we work, are so huge in their influence on how people cope and with their adversity. And in particular, another theme that came out related to that is about the context within which ACEs occur. So we have to recognise this is an equality issue, because actually people who live in poverty, or people from backgrounds where they may struggle to access support in a way that where you're white and middle class, you might not. We have to accept and tackle and be motivated by the fact that for some people, ACEs are more likely because of the environment with which they're growing up, and that environment can mean poverty. And they're less likely to get help. Today at the Carnegie Trust, they gave some fascinating stats about how Welsh, how people in the UK experience kindness. And unsurprisingly, if you are affluent, you feel more kindness from the world around you, from your public services, from your public transport even, compared to if you are poor. What's that about? That's not right, is it? So the other bit that's massive is this bit about we all have something to give, and therapeutic moments. So we can all offer therapeutic moments. We can all offer therapeutic moments. So that amazing head teacher who was there talking about standing on the front gate and saying hello to everybody, receiving everybody and helping them transition into the school day, and then saying goodbye to everybody at the end of the day,